All right. Hey, hello, HTV boxing fans. It's afternoon here in the United States. It's 1:38 p.m. And today was supposed to be a light day. I actually wasn't personally expecting much from yesterday. I thought it was going to be a walk in the park, but here we are. We have to, unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, discuss what happened last night. And I'm talking about the fight between Francis Ngannou and Tyson Fury in the Saudi Arabia. Um, I'm not going to do this alone. I have somebody who's going to do this with me, so that is fun. And also, what is there to learn about this fight? And I'm talking about K Box TV. Welcome, Kofi, once again.
Hey, thank you, Doc, for having me on the show, man. Thank you.
All right, so we're just going to go right into it.
Right.
Um, but before we get into the excitement of how things went, I want to know when you heard about this fight, what was your thought on it?
I was like, wow, another like MMA versus boxing thing again. And I was like, maybe an exhibition fight, you know, and I thought it was a really interesting matchup, to be honest, because Francis Ngannou has always said that he possesses some boxing skills. That was when so for MMA fans, I think they are always or they've always looking for that kind of person who's going to represent them and represent them hard. And there was no better matchup than to, face the Gypsy King. And so I thought it was an interesting matchup. Honestly, that was my first impression after the fight was
All
announced.
right, before we go on, today I want to do something different. If fans want to come on live, I would like to bring them live.
Yeah,
So if you are on WhatsApp, just shoot me a message and I'll bring you on. I'll send you the link, and then you can join live. And the WhatsApp number is a US number is 1301 842 26521 1301 842 6521. Shoot me a message. I'll bring you live so that you give us your opinion on this fight. Now, so back to it, Kofi. Also, when I heard it, I
yeah.
felt like this was going to be an exhibition fight. The Saudis are making a lot of fight nowadays, pumping a lot of money into boxing
Yes, yes,
for various reasons.
yes.
As a boxing fan, a legit boxing fan, I honestly did not
Yeah.
promote this fight on my page. Some
Okay.
people thought it's boxing, so everything boxing we promote. But I thought it was going to be an injustice to the sport, so I didn't
Yeah.
promote it, and I'll say that. However,
Okay.
um, as a boxing fan, we even watch, amateur fights. So, so we still had to tune in and see what was going to go on. So,
Right.
whilst I was not expecting a lot from it, I
Mm.
will confess that I did see the fight live and
Yeah.
saw what happened. Now,
Right.
I'll let you take the lead, Kofi. Right from how they built, let's talk about the entertainment aspect. Really, that's what, for those that I was talking to on the side, I said I referred to this as entertainment. I didn't refer to it as a boxing match.
Mm.
So what did you think about the money put into it, the entertainment aspect, the personalities that were there, how the whole thing went, and then we talk about the fight itself.
Man, hey, we have to give it to the Saudis. What they did, the show they put up was incredible. From the build up, the card itself. If you watch some of the fights on the card, and the way that the build up went, it was amazing. Like the Adelaide versus Fabio Wadley fight. It was really a fight that they had to put on. And so, if I look at that fight, for example, I go like they also gave us like interesting matchup. Apart from the fact that the main event was an MMA versus a boxer, and
Mhm.
look at this the stars that turned up for the fight. We had musicians. We have Kanye West in the
Mhm.
building last night. We had
Mhm.
Eminem in the building. Lil Baby came to perform. Look at the performances as well.
Mhm.
I agree with you if you want to call it entertainment. Maybe they had to fuse it in there to get attention of the world and also to let people know that hey, We are here to play. We are not here to play. We are here to really, take the game to the next level. Because usually when you go for boxing events, it's usually the card, right? But this one, they
Mhm.
try to fuse it in with some sort of music, or I'll say like some entertainment, which kept fighters glued, or fans glued to the seat. And even Ryan Garcia posted a tweet last night that this must be like the longest wait for the main event to show up. But in between that long for the main event to show up,
Mhm.
you could see that they gave us something worth waiting for the main event. I mean, the performances, like I'm saying. So, like you're saying, like it's entertainment, it's boxing, and more importantly, it is. I think it was an event that the Saudis wanted to like stamp their mark that they really want to take boxing to the next level. And I mean, you had Mike Tyson, you had Sugar Ray, you
Mhm.
had think of it, MMA stars. We had Izzy was in the building. We had Kamaru come support. We had McGregor in the building. A lot of them, a lot of stars. McBowen, just think of it, and then the person was there. It was amazing. It was an amazing night of boxing. I won't lie. Um, this is what if you say you want to overtake the
Mhm.
leaders in the sport, I would say like the USA and then the Canada. Maybe this is sorry USA and then the UK. This is something you need to put up for you to have or for you to get the attention or get a recognition that you really have something to bring to the table. And I mean, they really executed it to perfection.
I agree with you. The entertainment was on point.
Yeah.
The entertainment was on point. And as we get to the boxing, I
Mhm.
think it was surprisingly on point as well.
It was
But the
surprisingly
entertainment
on
was
point. I like the way you said it.
the
I
entertainment
like the
was
way you
on
put it.
point. They put a lot of money in it.
Yes,
And during the commentaries,
they
I
did.
heard one of the commentators say that Tyson Fury was gifted a $4 million sports car. I mean, it's a lot. Some of this money can do good for the sport of
Yes,
boxing, especially
yes,
with what is happening in the US right now. The US is supposed to be the mecca of boxing, and you have
hmm
TV um, companies now bailing out on boxing right now. So,
true.
whilst the Saudis may not actually bring some of that money to the US, is
hmm
uh, is an inspiration that boxing at least will not be dead
No,
in some other parts of the world.
yeah,
Let's
I
go
agree. I
right.
mean,
Mhm.
touch on let me touch on that particular subject that you just mentioned. I mean,
Mhm.
I've always said that the world will evolve. Like already, we know that nothing is going to be permanent, right?
Mhm.
It's about who's coming in and what the person brings to the sport.
Mhm.
Um, I listened to Bernard Hopkins when he was granted an interview about the Showtime situation, and then he
Mhm.
said he's not surprised
Mhm.
because, or he's not sad
Mhm.
because at the end of the day, somebody else will come and take. Of course, people will lose their dealership and everything because of
Mhm.
what they have signed with the broadcaster. But
Mhm.
look at it on this side. There'll be another potential. This is also like an opportunity for another potential broadcaster to also like become like the mainstream
Mhm.
or most viewed boxing platform. And so that's how I look at it from. It's of course it's sad for for the fighters that were signed with them. But I tell you,
Mhm.
those guys will eventually be taking over. It's just like network companies. If one comes, the other person will come.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. All right.
Yeah.
So enough of the entertainment. We all agree it was great. Let's
Mhm.
go to the boxing. Let's
Yes.
talk about both boxes. So
Yeah.
first, we got it. I think we talk about the person that came in with the 0-0.
Yeah.
Francis Ngannou, we all know if you watch combat sports, everybody knows him as
hmm
a MMA fighter, UFC fighter. Left the UFC apparently over money disagreement, signed
Yeah.
with the PFL.
Yeah.
So we know him. He's been a champion in his weight
hmm
category. We know him. We know one thing we know about him is we know in MMA he was a king. He was a champion. He's got
Yeah.
power.
Yeah.
He as a boxer, he has never really boxed professionally, even though he claims he has some experience.
Yeah.
I personally wasn't expecting because I know even boxers that have been doing boxing professionally from I mean
From
for many
amateur.
years, from
Yeah.
amateur days coming up,
True.
some of them, if you see them box, you'll be like, who is this guy? So I wasn't expecting a lot from Francis Ngannou as a boxer, but we know what he can do in the octagon.
Right.
What's your view? What was your view on him before fight night? As a
I
fight?
mean, before fight night, he had already mentioned that he has some boxing skills. And to be honest, to become if you look at his fight as an MMA fighter, you realize that there were most of his fights, there were times that he was boxing actually. He tried to box his opponents up. Of course, the striking and the wrestling and everything comes in. That makes it complete. But then he had always also shown like some, so that's a glimpse of boxing in his MMA fights. And so somehow I just knew that the basics, or I'll say the fundamentals, he had it. And my worry was if he was going to be able to build it to a level that will be standard enough to face a WBC heavyweight champion like Tyson Fury. That was what I was concerned about. Or that was what my worry was. Hey, but after what I saw last night, I think we shouldn't judge a book by its cover. I think he really, mastered his craft properly. And one thing that I saw
Don't
that was
drink the
awkward,
soup.
I don't know.
Don't drink the soup around the fufu. Let's
I don't
marinate
know.
it.
I don't know if you want me to take it away from you, but this guy was fighting awkwardly. He was fighting very awkwardly.
Let's talk about before you go there. Let's talk about Fury coming into the fight.
Okay.
Now, Fury hasn't fought in a long time, a real
That's true.
fight in a long time,
True.
and basically after his last fight, he said he took some time off, and then he came back. He's been holding the BBC belt hostage.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, in fact, on my page, anytime I post anything about Tyson Fury, I get insults. I get people saying they will unfollow. He's been a frustration to the sport in the heavyweight category. Tyson Fury has been a frustrating fans. So when he announced this fight, when we were expecting him to fight Anthony Joshua or even some other fighters,
right?
Everybody was like, "Oh, look at that!" And he himself said he was basically doing it for the money.
Yeah,
he
true.
did say there were quotes of him say he's got to feed his family. So thumbs up to him. That's all we strive for. We all want to go to school, work, make money, or do whatever we wanted to make money, take care of our family.
Correct.
But that aside, as a boxing fan, some were questioning his preparations. I saw pictures, I saw videos of him coming to this fight. And even post-fight, he did say something along the line of, this is not what he expected. What did you think about Fury coming into this fight?
I think, like you said, perhaps because this opponent that Tyson Fury had wasn't a boxer or isn't like a pro boxer from the beginning, I don't think he gave him enough respect, in my opinion. And he knew that the guy could fight. I think everybody can throw his hands, right? Coming from an MMA, at least we could all agree that at least he has a fighter in him. So he would go like, oh yeah, maybe this guy is a fighter. And then he was coming to face the Gypsy King, the unbeatable Gypsy King in boxing. Nobody has been able to, beat him. And if you look at the performance that he put against Wilder back to back, I don't think any boxing fan had gave Francis Ngannou any credit at all that he's going to be able to, put out the performance that he put over like yesterday. And so I don't think Tyson Fury also took Francis Ngannou very serious, like an opponent, or like if it so happened that he was going to face somebody like Anthony Joshua, like you mentioned, or Alexander Usyk. You understand? So I don't think he gave him so much respect. And based on that, I would also argue to say that the preparations towards the fight would not be 100%. Of course, he had Sugar with him to prepare him like he's prepared for the Tyson Fury, for the Deontay Wilder fight. But you have to understand that he was going to fight an MMA fighter as well, who I can confidently say that there isn't much clip about him to look at to say, okay, this is this guy's weakness, and so let's face it from this way, or like let's have this strategy go into the fight. And so maybe we can also blame him, Tyson Fury, for not even preparing enough, because of course fighters always want to get some sort of blueprint of who they are going to fight, and together with their trainers come up with like a routine, or I would say a strategy that they can use to be able to take on the opponent. In this case, there was nothing like that. Of course, if you go look at how he was wrestling and striking and all doing all that, it wouldn't work in boxing, because then there's nothing that they will be able to watch to be able to fight in. You get what I'm coming from? And
He
so
did the Superman.
exactly, he even did that in the fight. So I think from that angle, that's where I'm going to stand. But I think Tyson Fury really did the 14 weeks, because he said that he did the 14 weeks. I want to give him that credit. 14 weeks preparations, but it wasn't the 14 weeks preparations that he was good. The routine would have gone through to really fight like an opponent who was like top of the chain. But this is like somebody even coming from 0.0. He didn't give him enough credit. I don't think he prepared enough for the fight, and because okay, let me not go into it. I just think he didn't prepare enough for the fight, and he saw it as an opportunity to earn enough money, which I think most of us would have done. Of course, in our professions, if you call us and you tell us that there's something that we can do and earn like times I don't know 100 or times 200 of it in just a day or less than a day, I think we would all want to take that opportunity and then go back to our regular jobs again. And so I wouldn't take that away from him. It's just that it would have been really wise for him to have stamped his authority to say that, hey, boxing is no joke. I mean, the world of boxing is different, because now this the preparation that he had going to the fight has also opened up the conversation that, okay, now we've had a UFC, or sorry, an MMA fighter that's coming to boxing to come show their prowess, and it feels like they really have something to show. Of course, over the period there hasn't been anybody to really step out to a fighter like that, but this is like a WBC champion, like reigning, defending. You understand? And so now the MMA guys are saying, okay, now can we also have a crossover now and come face our sport? And I don't know if anybody would take that risk, but I think if you had taken him seriously, prepared properly for this fight, and taking the camp serious, and really come out to say that to give a performance to kill all the doubters and everything, I think it would have been different. But unfortunately, that didn't happen, and so I wouldn't say that he took the fight serious.
All right, so now let's talk about the fight.
Yeah.
When the fight started, at least round one, I was like, hey, I mean, Tyson Fury started throwing some big shot.
Yeah.
I thought this is what we are expecting. This fight is not going to last.
Right.
And then out of nowhere, in round three,
Yes,
the unthinkable happened.
yeah.
And then that seemed to have just given some Nganou some, I don't know, just some confidence to actually try and box.
Yeah.
Now, I must still say that his boxing skills are still below par, for what we consider professional boxer. But he did very well. I saw him throw jabs, and then I saw him do uppercuts. I saw him do overhands.
Yeah.
Sometimes he even did some combinations. And then the hook that he caught Fury off with.
Yeah.
I mean, what did you think overall about Ngannou's skills and then what he did?
I think it was enough to let the world know that he can find another boxer. To be honest, yes, it is not like what we expected. Like I said, it was awkward. There was a point he was standing on the orthodox stance, and then he would change to like southpaw, and you could see there and then that Tyson Fury's adjustment to it was a problem, because then he was already fighting the guy like this, and then the guy would turn like this. But that's like the MMAs, right? They always stand in how they want. If they feel like this is okay, it's okay. If like they want to change, it's easy. So it was easy for him to make those switch in stance. He was really fighting awkward. I won't lie, like it was really awkward, but it was awkwardly beautiful. I mean, and the round three, like you just said, oh man, if you look at the fight, or if you watch the fight really from round one, Tyson was always going for the power 1-2 combinations. So it was always like 1-2 in round two. If you watch the fight well, in round two he was doing that a lot. So I think at that point, Francis was thinking of what he could do to stop him from that 1-2 bang, and I think that was a perfect execution of it, because then when he came in with the 1-2 bang, he went in with the left hook. And if you like go back to round one, round two, you will see that he was always going in for that 1-2 bang, 1-2 bang, 1-2 bang. And so I think as fighters, you also collect data on your fight, like on your fighter, as the fight progressed. And I think he took the opportunity to realize that, hey, this guy just giving me 1-2 bang, 1-2 bang. Why don't I see whether I can reply with like a left hook? Because it was always his right coming at the last. So then it means the opportunity for me to go on the right, on my left hook is possible. Let me try and see. And it's heavyweight. These guys have incredible punches. See, nobody is unbeatable in the heavyweight division, to be honest, because of the power in their. Look at this guy, 5'6", over more than 6 feet tall, 6 feet guy, huge, full of muscles. Hey, come on, the punch. I heard people saying that it was his weaker arm, but still, we all saw the damage that he did.
They said that was I guess real MMA fans were saying that is his weaker hand.
Yeah, that's what they were saying, because he's like an orthodox fighter, right? And so to come in even with the left, they're saying that was his weaker hand, and that's like dangerous, man. And I think it just also affirms what Mike Tyson said, like in the build up to this fight. He said he hasn't seen somebody who's dedicated and who is serious like Tyson, like Francis Ngannou. He said this guy has taken this thing very seriously. He's showing up every time. Like, he even went to his country to also be part of the preparations, because you know we're Africans, so we know what the sun can do for us back home when we are preparing, right? He went to Saudi Arabia himself to also get acclimatized himself with it. See, some of the things that he did prior to the fight made me make me take him like as a serious person. You understand?
He took it serious.
He knew it was an opportunity. He wasn't going to let this just slide. He wanted to also let the world know that, hey, I'm here. And now, if we are even talking about the big boys in the heavyweight division, we can put his name somewhere.
And he did say something also after. But I want to talk about, did you think that knockdown took Tyson Fury by surprise? Or did he think he was capable?
I think so. I mean, if you look at the way he fell, now I don't think he was expecting to be knocked down at all. I mean, let me ask you too. What do you think? Do you think he gave him that kind of, oh, this guy is a guy that I think can drop me? Do you think Tyson Fury had that mindset?
Probably not. He thought that his boxing skills were so bad, it didn't matter how much power we all know he got power from UFC, but I don't think he thought he could actually knock him down. And plus, Fury is a big guy, why would he, compared to him? So why would he expect that? So he definitely did. And you could tell from when he was down there, like, what the heck just happened to me on the floor?
Exactly.
So he wasn't expecting that. But was Nganou surprised at himself that he knocked him down?
No, he wasn't, because if after knocking him down, you see what he's doing. He went there to like play on him. I don't know if you saw that part of it, but he went there and then the referee pushed him for him to go back. It's like, I'm telling you that, because he said that he has to come to do, like, he's coming to do the unthinkable. And this is unthinkable, man. Honestly.
Right. You're right.
He's coming to do the unthinkable. And so I'm very sure that if this was in Las Vegas, where knockdowns, if you score a knockdown, it automatically means you've won 3 rounds already. Man, it would have been unless, of course, the gods of boxing speak again like they spoke last night and still give the win to Tyson Fury. You get what I mean? But hey, that knockdown, in my opinion, was the career-changing moment. Like, I mean, the fight changing moment of the fight, because I go like, hey, I think that was it. And after
And
that,
I, uh-huh.
Fury tried many times to also put him down. So then he became very aggressive, and I think that was his downfall, because then Francis was becoming more successful in 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 in, uh, in exploiting his weak points. I didn't know that. Uh, I've always thought of Fury as a very big guy. I didn't know even if Francis could even lie on him and start putting his weight on him. But that was because now Fury was very serious and concentrated on trying to also score a knockdown or something of that sort. And so I think he left himself, and then uh, Francis became more like smart and intelligent and started like hugging him and putting his weight on him, like all those sort of things that we usually see Fury do. We saw it doing like that like the other way. So yeah, I think it was an amazing fight.
So that we don't make this conversation long,
Yeah.
um, we've spoken about their skills coming in,
Hmm.
what actually happened, how we were surprised, how they were probably surprised about what happened. Now I want to talk about one more surprise. Did you think this was, for me? I was surprised it actually went to the distance. Were you expecting this? Because don't let us forget that Nganou is coming from MMA. MMA's fights don't last this long. Did that also surprise you? Because that surprised me. Kofi, are you with me? Uh, Kofi, are you with
Yeah.
me?
Yeah,
I
I'm with you
lost
now.
you. So I was saying
Okay,
that,
sorry.
did how long Ngannou last surprise you? Because MMAs don't go that long. So for me,
Yes.
I was surprised that that actually happened. Were you
Mhm.
surprised too that he lasted that long?
Yeah, I was surprised, to be honest. I was, because I think I was just expecting him to be out there in like maybe I gave him out most 5 rounds or six,
Mm-hmm.
to be
Mm-hmm.
most. I'll say six, because I was like, um, MMA's 5 minutes, 5 minutes. But if you look at MMA itself, like the UFC, like they do, it's like 5 minutes for every three in 3 rounds, right? And if
Mm-hmm.
there's a championship round, maybe there's like I think 2 more rounds or one more. I'm not sure. So
Mm-hmm.
if I put the first, let me just put the first 3 rounds, the
Mm-hmm.
first 3 rounds into perspective. I'll say that's like 15 minutes. So,
Mm-hmm.
so I was expecting him to do like maybe round up to round six, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe he'll be tired, and then
Mm-hmm.
maybe Tyson Fury would have taken it out like away from there. Maybe stop him in round seven. That's what I was thinking. But he surprised us.
I would want us to talk about the decision. There's been a lot of things, people speaking, both professional boxers and outsiders, media people,
Mm,
celebrity, everybody talking about it. But before we talk about that, this is what um Ngannou said. I'm going to play it. But I think
mhm,
besides tasting the heavy hands of one of the
mhm.
heavyweights in boxing. So besides tasting the actual boxing, he has also
Yeah,
tasted, I think, the business aspect of boxing. And
that's true. I
this is
agree.
this is what he said. Let's see if it will come up.
I won that fight. There is not a question about it. But and even before getting here, I know, like if this fight get to decision, I'm not winning. Not because I didn't do good, because I'm a new guy in the house. I come here and just wanna, kick into people business. I know there's a structured business out there, and you need to do a lot to destroy it. That's why he would be upset for them. I wasn't expecting to just win like that into decision. But you know, it is what it is. I do my job. I know that I did everything that I could have done. I did my best. Maybe next time I should just do better.
All right. Do you agree with him?
Yeah, I mean, it's true. We all knew that if you had gone when the knockdown came, I
Mm-hmm.
said, "Oh man, the Roma guy,"
Mm-hmm.
because hey, he's coming. Is like you said, he's made a crossover into a different world.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he knows how the politics and everything works in MMA, but he's made a cross into like a different world altogether. Of course, he's still
Mm-hmm.
fighting, but different rules, different organizations, and everything. So but I like the mindset that he has, like that he came to do his job. And I won't lie, man, Doc, he did his job he like to perfection. Let me say that. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's the best of the best of the best that we could get
Mm-hmm.
of Francis Ngannou. And I always have a feeling that after this performance, maybe we could match him with some of the top boys in the division, and maybe he could do something.
You are getting ahead of it. So I was gonna ask you that later, but since you have brought it up, but no, before I ask you that,
Mm.
even in regular when professional boxers fight with each other,
Yeah,
we kind of always have an idea where the decision is going to go
yeah, true,
based on the business aspect of boxing.
true.
So he knows that also.
Yeah,
So I'm sure he wasn't surprised he didn't win.
yeah.
But I thought that for the sport
Mm.
and for people that actually think that Fury is holding the heavyweight
Hostage.
undisputed hostage,
Yeah,
it would have shown something that indeed maybe a 0-0-0-3-0 boxer can come and give him a tough time. If
yeah,
they had made it a draw, it would
yeah,
have meant something.
yeah.
But there was no way that he was going to win. He
No,
understands it. You and I understand it.
yeah,
That's just also part of the business of
yeah,
boxing,
yeah.
and so he understands it. Now you do say that you really think that he's ready for professional boxing?
Heavyweight is one of the divisions that has that the current heavyweight division that we have is like uh I'll say it's stuck with people like the talent that we have now
Mm-hmm,
are not fighting each other, right? So if we have a
mm-hmm,
new face
mm-hmm.
in the division, I think it would spark people to want to fight him. Not because of he's a complete fighter, but because of where he's coming from. If I say where he's
Mm-hmm.
coming from, I'll say like the MMA part that comes to it with it. So people will go like, "Oh, this guy is just like an MMA fighter." So no matter who is going to fight, we will always like put the fighter like ahead of him, and that will make him like the underdog. And with that kind of situations, a performance like what he just did will always like be, go like, wow, this guy is like a serious, or that kind of mindset where the underdog always comes to like prove himself. I think if we have him in the heavyweight division now, it would be amazing. Then that way we go to fight knowing that he's already caused some havoc already, but we will still not give him like credit against like a Deontay Wilder. But then he'll show up and put up a performance where we'll always go like, wow, like this guy is special, So that's why I would wish or I would want him to take on like an explosive fighter or an explosive like heavyweight boxer at the moment. And of course, um, the division, like I said, they are not fighting each other. You know, recently Deontay Wilder made a video to say that he's ready to fight. We haven't heard a response from Anthony Joshua yet. We had Tyson Fury, who was supposed to fight Alexander Usyk like earlier in the year, and now they are saying December, which you and me I doubt, because like if I look at the timelines now, I don't see how that fight is going to happen. Like in December, like they say. It's if it happens, I'll be very excited, but I'm not looking forward to it because the way Tyson Fury was battered or the performance that he showed up, I'm sure he would like to go back to the drawing board and make like real, like significant changes, especially to his mindset. I don't doubt him as a fighter. I think he's it's still the biggest and the best heavyweight that we have at the moment, in my opinion. But I think the mindset that he had coming into the fight wasn't the mindset or the good mindset that he
Of a
needed.
professional boxer.
Exactly. See, I was asking myself at the point, why don't you box this guy around? Box him. Forget about. I think I don't know if he lost himself, but I was expecting Tyson Fury to box this guy, move him, use the ring, and it's one of the features that he has, he possesses, that he's displayed it over the period of time. I think the only time that I see Tyson Fury switch was when he was fighting Deontay Wilder, because I think he really at that point he wanted somebody that he wanted to have the power to be able to knock an opponent down, which he's mastered it over the period of time. I won't lie, I'll give it to him.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But the Tyson Fury that we all know, we also know that he's able to box. use the ring, move, and you're fighting somebody who doesn't understand or know that bit of boxing. You understand? So why don't you box him? Why don't you use the width of the ring? Why don't you move around? Why don't you let the guy that you understand work for it? Quote and unquote. You understand? So I think this is something that he needs to work, because if you look at Alexander Usyk, that they've scheduled a fight to face him in December, if it does happen, which I doubt it will. He's somebody who really knows how to box. You know, so if he go into the fight and it's thinking that, okay, let's just go there, bang bang, like 1-2, like he thought that he could have done like yesterday, that didn't work. I think it would be a problem. So I hope he's able to work on his mindset and be able to, you know, make the necessary adjustment, because hey, he's still loved out here in boxing, no matter what. It's still the Gypsy King.
I think yesterday was a business move.
Yes.
It was a money-making move.
It could have been a business gone wrong. You know, it could have been.
That's exactly.
You know, because prior to the fight, they said it was an exhibition fight. And the funny thing is, I saw the BBFC approve it, and then they said if Mal made it like a record fighting fight, you know, so it became tricky. But let me ask you this: what do you think about this, like exhibition fights being automatically or somehow changed into becoming like a real matchup? Do you think it's something we need to encourage? Because it is happening in the misfit side, where we see YouTubers wanting to fight it for entertainment, and the next minute you hear it's on Boss Record, it's on some sort of website, and then it's updated. What do you think of it? Like,
so the question is, what do we want boxing to be, and what do we think boxing is? Is boxing do we consider a boxer somebody who's had actual training, long amateur career, and then made their way up in the professionals like we have always done? Or a boxer is somebody who can actually just box, do the simple techniques, be able have the strength, have the conditioning to be able to do it. So it all depends on what we think boxing is. And I think that right now, what is happening is the latter. If I can learn the basics of boxing, I can jab, I can throw a hook, I can condition myself to go the distance, I can make weight, then I'm a boxer. Yeah. It doesn't matter what their career background. And if these people come into the ring, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't a fan of this Jake Pauls and all these KSIs, all these guys, but they are coming in there, and some of them can actually box and can actually look at what happened between Tommy Fury, who was actually supposed to be someone who is a boxer, right? And KSI.
Yeah.
So you see something like that, and it makes you think twice. When they started coming up, I was like, what is this, man? They are messing up boxing. Yeah. And there's a lot of people in the boxing community, boxing fans, who feel the same way, that these people are messing up boxing. But I think it's because we have made our mind very traditional. To be regarded as a boxer, you have to go through amateur ranks, build your record up, come up, instead of going straight to where these people are. At the end of the day, it's what we think boxing is. And I think this is what I call progressive boxing. Boxing is something completely different now. Yeah. Money talks. If you can pay a good trainer, good conditioner, an old boxer who has done it to give you the basics, like what just happened. Yeah, look at how people feel about Francis Nganou right now.
True.
Why can't they feel the same way if Jake Paul did it to an actual boxer?
Fair.
Now they are saying Jake Paul is running away from real boxers, but imagine, I don't even know who is in his weight category. Jake Paul fought one of the good guys or good people right now, and they give them a good match. Would you consider Jake Paul a boxer? You would. So the thing that they are bringing into the sport is not just what we boxing lovers like, which is the technical aspect, what you can do in the ring. They are bringing into the sport, and they are infusing a lot of it, money and the entertainment. And this sport needs that. Boxing has always been an entertainment sport, not just what you can do in the ring. We tell our boxers that You can be good in the ring. If you cannot talk, you cannot entertain, you can't go anywhere. And that is what these guys are bringing in. A lot of people love Nganou right now that didn't think that he could do what he did. So if you ask me, let them do it. If they come and, for lack of better word, they suck at it, then we kick them out, regardless of whatever money. But if they come and they prove themselves that they can do it, let's give them a chance. It doesn't matter what they did. Yes, to build a boxer, you spend a lot of money, you spend a lot of time going through. So it feels some way, right? It's like when the government is giving out or giving away student loans, and then people that have spent the time and done tight budget and paid off their loans. So that's how it feels when you're already there, and someone, it's like someone coming into your territory. But I say we give them a chance. So
true.
me, I don't see anything wrong with it. I had an issue with it, but I don't. Do you think he was wrong?
It's for me, I just wish that opportunities are given to the people who are also in the sport. I mean, that's the only part of it. That's the only thing I would say about it. But like you just said, it's fair because they're also giving boxing like a new audience and with their platforms. So yeah, let me end it there and say that yes, I feel like Francis Ngannou was robbed last night. I think a fair result would have been at least a draw and maybe a possible rematch. And that is where I would have argued to say that then Tyson Fury would have really come in with a kill this time, because then he wouldn't go and underestimate him. Now I doubt if he would even give him a rematch or if it is something he's considering. You understand? But if they had made it a draw, knowing Tyson Fury, he would have, or if the boxing world know the mindset of Tyson Fury, will know that maybe now he would have gone and taken him serious and will come back and then have displayed like the boxing that we had expected him to have displayed like yesterday. So I feel yes, he was robbed. Do you think he was robbed too, or do you think it was a fair decision?
So it depends on how you do it, how you score it. Boxing is scored different ways. Of course, that knockdown gave him a lot of points. However, how much of his jabs, I'm talking about Nganou, how much of his jab, he was an aggressor compared to Fury, because Fury just kept hugging, right? He kept clinching. He was the aggressor. I don't know how many, I've not looked at the CompuBox stats. I don't know how much of his jabs landed. I don't know how much of his punches landed. But if you look at it from a fan's perspective, if you compare him to a professional boxer, he should have won. He should have won. I just don't know the specifics, but he should have won just looking at it, because for me, he should have won in the sense that he put out more than I expected, and Tyson Fury did very less than expected. So that's why I will give it to Nganou. Okay. But in terms of the technical aspect, the skills, I'll hold back on it.
Okay, now let me give you the CompuBox numbers. Maybe it will change your mind. Then you realize that he really did put on like it's like incredible numbers yesterday. So total jab, landed and thrown, landed 39 out of 137 punches thrown, jabs. That's Tyson Fury. And Nganou landed 22 out of 115. So of course, Tyson Fury threw a lot of jabs, but he landed only 37. And Nganou landed 22. Power punches landed. Nganou landed 37 of his 116 power punches, whilst Tyson Fury landed lower, which is like 32 out of 86 power punches. So he even threw less power punches and landed less eventually. Now, total punches landed. Tyson Fury landed 71 of all the 223 punches, and Nganou landed like 59, which is like heavily. It is a number which is also okay. You know, it's not like a bad number. So if you look at the numbers, the CompuBox statistics, it's not like the guy doesn't look like a boxer. It's not a boxer like in our eyes, but then the performance that he put up is like significant. It's like a boxer who was like a fighter, like a boxer fighting a fighter. So a boxer fighting a fighter. boxers. Sorry.
Kofi, I have to deviate
So
and do
he
this.
didn't do bad numbers. That's what I'm trying to say.
One of our biggest fans, Morales, is on. So I have to answer him. Morales, yes, you did miss a good unexpected fight. But check it out on YouTube. Asking about who fought better, depending on how you look at it. Nganou is not a boxer. He did extremely well. He did better in terms of comparing boxers than Tyson Fury. Tyson could have done better. The controversy is that most people think that Nganou should have won. That's really what it is. So if you are hearing anything, that's what it is. All right. Hey, Morales, check your inbox. We have sent you a message there, and we'll talk outside. Kofi, let's look at some comments. Fabulous. Fury fought out of fear. He had no chance after testing that Nganou power. I kind of agree with that, because after that he wasn't doing what you would expect him to do. Like he wasn't trying to take any more risks. I don't know if you saw that. He wasn't really trying to take any more risks after that knockdown. What did he say? Yes, that counter punching was on point. That counter punching, and that is what scared Fury, because he didn't know how he could get caught, right? So he wasn't taking any more risks. Now, Kofi, but towards the end, the few rounds, I don't know if Nganou was tired or he was told to relax and not knock down Fury, because he was not as aggressive anymore towards the end, Nganou, as he was in the beginning and mid rounds. I don't know if you saw that.
I think it's a natural thing, right? He's coming from a sport where he doesn't need like 10 rounds. So I think it's just natural that he there was a little bit of fatigue around that bit. But then again, I'm sure in his head he was like, I've already won the fight. So let me slow down and take my time and enjoy how much millions that I'll be giving after the fight. He has already done something to already show the world that like he's worthy of the performance, right? And like I said, he's an MMA fighter. It makes all the sense in the world that he'll be fatigued towards the end of the fight, considering that the person is boxing has been.
Kofi, how much did Tyson Fury make? I heard Nganou made 10 million.
How much?
How much did Fury make? What have you heard?
I haven't heard anything. I'm still waiting for the figures to come in, but I think it's going to make more than 20 million. I think.
Okay, I did hear that Nganou made 10 million. I don't know if that was
yes. One thing is for sure, it's going to be like the McGregor kind of thing, making a crossover, coming in there and making like a fortune. So one thing for sure, he might be earning like a combination of all what is earned in UFC in one night, or maybe more.
So that's
for a fact.
That's the other thing a lot of people have been talking about. I mean, he's made good money. It was nice to see Adesanya and the other guy in there with him. The UFC was well represented. And I'm sure they are going to take a page out of his book at some time in their career.
What Nganou has done by living at his peak, like because he left the UFC as a champion. As it stands, Kamaru Usman lost his last fight, and I think Israel also lost his last fight. If they want to make that crossover, they have to make it whilst they have the title. Then it's just like McGregor when he made that switch and decided to fight Mayweather. He had already made, he was with the belt. When you have the belt and you're leaving, you know how people are. People like to work with champions. Even with what happened to Tyson Fury, because we felt like Nganou gave a fantastic performance. we are giving Nganou credit, but we still recognize the champion that he's like Tyson Fury is a champion. If you get what I mean. And so
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
if they get a title and make that switch, maybe it will be something the fans would like to see. But hey, I won't lie, man. Definitely, the money he would have collected yesterday would have been a compilation of everything he's made in UFC and even more. So yeah.
Yeah, you're right. So, Kofi, let's bring the curtains down. We have 1 minute. Um,
Mhm.
overall, what was your thought on the fight? What do you think should be going on with Ngannou and then Fury? I give you 1 minute.
Okay, so I just read that Frank Warren has stated categorically clear that the rematch, sorry, the fight against Tyson, Alexander Usyk will not happen in December 23rd like they have promised fans, but it's likely that they're going to see it in January instead. Like I was telling you, I don't think it's going to happen. And so, uh, uh, with that being said, I hope Tyson Fury will go back to the drawing board, put on the mindset or the cap that he had before. I think that's what we boxing fans like loved him for, the way he could back his trash talk and his big talk with performance. I
Mhm.
missed that last night, and so I hope that he can bring that vibe
He
back.
was
You know, because
humbled. He was humbled
yeah, he
at the
was
end.
humble. Of course, even when he was doing the face off against Alexander Usyk, he was more reserved and quiet. I didn't see the Gypsy King come out of the king. You know, I feel like it was mellow. It was more of a, okay, we have the title, so we have to talk, that kind of vibe. So if the fight is not happening 23rd, like Frank Warren has stated now, I think he should just go to the drawing board, put on the mindset, wait, learn,
Mhm.
and it's life. Sometimes we need these things to also put us like on our toes to go like, hey, I think we are losing it. It's not because like we don't have it. Maybe it's because we've been complacent. And I think that was the
Mhm.
kind of the mindset that he had going to the Ngannou fight. And now that he's been made aware of it, then it's now time for him to go back to the drawing board and then make the amendments or the correct adjustments for him to face a very serious and a very focused fighter like Alexander Usyk. That guy is one of the most serious fighters ever. In terms of Francis Ngannou, I would like from him to push for a rematch. Reasons: one,
Mhm.
he's won boxing fans over. Two, is he really put on a show that we felt like he deserves it again. Three,
Mhm.
probably he would go and also learn and maybe this time put Tyson Fury down for good. And then four, the last reason is to make enough money, like some more money for himself, because that's why he's in the sport anyway. And I'd also want, or if I was Tyson, sorry, if I was Francis Ngannou, I would always want to push to maybe also get or secure a fight against any of the top heavyweight divisions, like the names like Anthony Joshua, if it's possible. If also get a taste of Usyk, it wouldn't be bad. I would want to push that, or maybe Joseph Parker, just to as a tune
Mhm.
up for people to see that maybe he's ready. Or if you
Mhm.
can get Parker, I don't know, maybe Daniel Dubois or any of the boys in the heavyweight division. Just to make a name and also state a claim that he's there to stay, and then maybe hopefully set up that rematch against Tyson Fury. But that's what I would have done if I was in his mind. But let me ask you, considering everything that has happened,
Mhm.
if you were to put these two guys against each other, or you were in the camp of each other, what would be, and or if they recruited you as their advisor, what counsel would you give them at this point in their careers after this fight?
Well, I wouldn't want a rematch. Um, because I love boxing and for boxing's legacy and for Fury's legacy, I wouldn't want a rematch because anything can go wrong, as we have said, and it would just be terrible for the sport of boxing.
Yeah, true,
I
true,
wouldn't want a rematch. So
true.
if I were Fury, I would just go on and go about normal business, fight the Usyk, make money, move on. If
Mm-hmm.
I were in Ghana, now that I have tasted it,
Mm.
I would want to do it again.
Yeah.
And I would advise him to do it again.
Mm.
Perhaps even if he could make the weight
Mm.
go a little bit a weight lower and
Mm.
do some damage there.
Mm.
Um, however,
Mm.
because I don't know about your world, Kofi. In the United States, I have seen athletes cross over from Michael Jordan. Um, go to, I don't know if you know that he went to try baseball at some point. I've seen super athletes cross over, and they never. It's like he cannot do it both. Is where I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what is he going to do with boxing? Is he just going to play around, or he's going to take time off MMA and just do boxing full time? If he doesn't dedicate himself to the sport, he's not going to thrive as he
But Doc,
has.
if
And
you look at the fight, and the performance
Mhm.
he came to put up on this notice, I'll say his dedication to the sport is
but that's
is
because he's taking time away from MMA.
okay. Yeah, right, correct.
So that's what I'm saying. He can't do both at the same time. So he needs to pick maybe a long hiatus from MMA, focus on boxing, get a couple of fights in, possibly defeat some world or former world champion, make
Right.
some more money, and then maybe go back to his first love. But Kofi, thank you. We've been over time.
Yeah,
I
true.
really appreciate you doing this. We'll do it again.
Yeah.
I don't know what big fight is coming up. Let's see what Morales is saying. We'll take that one.
Canelo.
I don't want to see
I don't
this
think-
happen. It's not
No,
good for
no.
boxing.
No,
It's not
no,
good
no,
for
no,
boxing.
no. Especially
Mora-
because if I look at the now, I think he's lost it in every possible way. I don't see him. I don't see the fighter in him, the dog that he had in him when he was ready to, or when he was going to fight, or when he took on Mayweather. And now Nelo is on a different level, man. It's
Yeah.
no.
And then it's also so why does it seem like the sport that we love is the one getting all these misfits coming? We have YouTubers, we have MMA. Are boxers going into the other side too?
No. I think to be honest, it's all about the money, right? And if you look at the combat world sport,
Mhm.
I think boxing has been the one or the most paid among all of them, and so it makes sense. It's like all of us going to school and we want to make money at some point, right? So if
Mhm.
you are in somewhere and then the career is not careering, you have to make a switch. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, they even get even much wounded because I look at some of this MMAs and the way they fight everywhere. Your elbow, even if by accident your elbow hits somebody's face or something,
Mhm.
sometimes they have headaches for days. This
Mhm.
is something they do like over a long period of time. So it tells you even inspiring and everything.
Mhm.
This was happening, and so they take a lot of damage, and they don't get enough compensated for the damage that they take. But I'm not saying boxers don't take damage as well, but I think at least they are not fighting against opponents that will use their legs unexpectedly and their elbows and, and their knees. You get what I'm saying?
I mean, a knee hitting your face is not the
Exactly.
same as a padded
No.
boxing glove.
So in that sense, I'll go like, yeah. I mean, if they all can make it, if it will make logical sense that if the opportunity comes for me to come collect some boxing money, I think I'll jump on it. And that's what the guys are. And that's what make them switch into to boxing an easy decision for them to make.
And then we can't fault them. At the end of the day, everybody got to put food on the table
Exactly.
and feed the family. All right, Kofi, we'll do this again on the next big thing. If it's a major reaction,
Yeah, right.
but there's a couple of fights coming up. I'm looking up to before the year is over. So hopefully, but not anything major. It
No,
seems
no.
like all these big fighters kind of, how do I say it?
I think
Building records
one
now.
fight I'm looking for it will be the Vihani versus the Progress fight. I think it will be a good fight. In December. I think it's a fight I'm really looking forward to. I think among all the fights, that is what and the Navarrete fight maybe.
Uh-huh.
The Navarrete fight also sounds very, very good. But of course, these are names that you have to love boxing to want to follow, right? Other than that,
You're right.
Tyson Fury or Canelo or Lomachenko or something. But for us boxing fans, we know that people we want the fight we want to watch.
But it's not gonna. It's not gonna. Oh man, Ryan got a big hater in Lady. Lady, he said, she said she was. What is you want Ryan Garcia to go down again? Damn.
Ah,
That
I think,
I think that opponent, if he's going to fight, is going to be an easy one.
yeah, of course, of course, of course, of course. I don't think he needed like a big opponent now. I think he needs somebody to get him. That's the opponent they have now to get his head straight, and then they'll find a bigger opponent for him later.
Is Tank going to fight Cruz? I heard something.
Yes. That was the should I say the communication that was put out that we will fight him in a rematch because I think LB posted made a tweet when he was asked, and then that's what he said. So yeah.
Okay, so I cannot end this episode without giving a big shout out to Team USA amateur boxing, USA boxing. Hey, we had five boxers qualify for the Olympics next year, and I know the rest of. Thank you. The rest of the boxers are going to do it in the next qualifiers in Italy and Thailand. Jamal Harvey, strong work. Joshua, strong work. Gerara, strong work. Mo, strong work. And Jennifer, strong work as well.
I'm still waiting on my boys in Ghana to do something. Unfortunately, the story is not the same in Ghana. And
there are two more chances to qualify, so hopefully we get some qualifiers.
So I'm hoping that the administration makes a very good representation because and give the boys the right mindset. And I know the boys have it. It's just the mindset and the people who are handling them at the moment. I just hope that we can give the guys the opportunities for them to condition their mind and take the right guys to go compete, and hopefully we can get a sport. I hope we make a sport because it's too bad. And that brings the conversation that I've always wanted to ask to say on air, but I think that will be like another time. But yeah, congratulations on your USA.
Thank
team.
you. We got to make some time for the amateur boxing. But Nganou did his thing. Tyson needs to go back to the drawing board. Thank you, Kofi. We'll talk again.
Hey, enjoy your evening.
All right. Hey, ST Boxing fan, thank you very much for sticking with me. I'm going to end it right here. Nganou Fury was not what we expected, but Nganou did well. I think if he sticks with boxing, he's going to do great. Fury has to go back to the drawing board. I definitely will not take the fight with Usyk on the 23rd of December if I was him. But hey, what can I say? Until next time, this is HTV. I'm the Boxing Doc, and this was the post-fight reaction, I should say, of the Nganou Fury fight. See you later on our next big fight. And thanks to you fans for coming in and commenting. I really appreciate you.